Let me paint you a picture. Your revenue is solid, your calendar's full, your Slack is buzzing, even your accountant's happy. And yet, you're lying awake at 3 a.m. thinking, how does this feel successful and like it's flying apart all at the same time? My friend, welcome to the messy middle. It's not a revenue problem. It's not a marketing problem. It's a leadership and a people problem. And no one else is talking about this part. Welcome to Female Founder Unplugged, the show where we cut through the noise and have a real, raw conversation about what it takes to build and scale a successful business as a female entrepreneur. I'm Lindsay White, people strategy expert, leadership coach, and fellow founder. And I know firsthand the challenges of scaling sustainably and staying connected to your passion along the way. This podcast is for ambitious women just like you, seasoned founders and CEOs navigating the challenges of leadership, team building, and sustainable growth. In each episode, we'll dive into those topics that are most important to you as a female founder. You'll hear honest, no BS conversations about building, growing, and leading a team and culture so that you can grow without losing yourself in the process. Because let's be real, entrepreneurship can feel isolating and leadership doesn't come with a roadmap. If you've ever struggled with the pressure of running a business, felt overwhelmed by growing your team, or wondered, how do I scale without sacrificing my vision and my purpose? You're in the right place. Let's get unplugged. Hey, my friends, welcome back to the Female Founder Unplugged. And I'm going to start off by saying something slightly controversial today. Most scaling advice is actually not built for you. It's built for 28-year-old tech bros with venture capital who think burnout is a personality trait and they wear it like a badge of honor. But you and I, we have built a service-based business. We have degrees. We have decades of experience. We poured our life savings, blood, sweat, tears into these things. We care deeply about our clients. We care deeply about our team. And you also care deeply about your family. You did not build this business to burn and churn. So when someone says to you, just hire a VA, 10 times your revenue, you just need to outsource, you are like me, probably thinking, cool. With what structure exactly? Like, how am I supposed to do that? Well, here's the messy truth. Scaling without scaling your leadership and creating a great people strategy is just chaos with bigger payroll and more problems. So you might be thinking, like, what is she talking about? What is actually the messy middle? Well, the messy middle is that stage where your business is working, there's great revenue, you're no longer sort of in that scrappy startup stage where you're kind of shoestringing everything together, peanut butter and duct tape, but you're not systematized. You don't have the structures, and you sure don't have a lot of strategy. You as the business owner, you're still the technical expert. You're the decision maker. You're the firefighter. You're the emotional support animal. And you are the final approval on everything. And everyone is still coming to you. And you're supposed to magically also be this visionary CEO. Yeah, sure. No pressure at all, right? Like, I mean, honestly, friends, I feel this too. I'm in the messy middle right with you. And this is the stage where growth really starts to expose every crack and crevice, every issue. And it's not because you're bad at business, quite the opposite. It's just because what got you here isn't going to get you there. And I mean that from a leadership perspective, like the way you've been showing up isn't going to get you to the next level. The way that you recruit and retain and use your talent, not going to get you to the next level. You might not have the right people on the bus. And the culture that you have right now also is going to need to evolve. So, what do we do? Well, let me tell you a bit of a story about a client that I've worked with very recently. This is the story of the everything is fine founder. And I think we can all identify with this. So this is someone who is a 7-figure business owner, has a small team. Let's say it's like 2 to 4 people. And on the outside, like externally, looking like she is killing it. But internally, it's like who's on first. There's confusion. There's inconsistency around delivery. The accountabilities are unclear, so we don't know, and we're not doing roles that exist in theory, but not really in reality. And here's where things get really sticky for this founder. She built loyalty instead of accountability. So what she had was really good people, really kind people, really long-standing people in her business, great relationships, but there was very little structure. And what structure she did have, because she'd worked really hard, she was trying, the structure that she did have was not working because there was a clarity issue. And after our first deep dive strategy session, that was part of being in the LPC accelerator, because that's work we do up front. What she said to me was, in that very first session, I feel like I'm losing my mind. Like I'm not sleeping. I don't know who owns anything anymore. I feel like I have to make every decision and I have to motivate all the time. My friends, that's the messy middle. When you are too big to keep winging it, but you're still winging it. And it feels like a lot. So here's what we had to do. This is the work we do inside the accelerator. First of all, we really had to create a great people strategy. So what does the organization look like today? What does it need to look like tomorrow to actually accomplish her big, beautiful business plan? Right? We designed all of that. We clarified the roles. We created some new ones. We recognized that we had people doing things that they weren't great at. We really then were able to create performance expectations and clarify the accountabilities. That was very helpful. We built a communication rhythm so that as we extricated her from all the work and all the decisions, that she still was very much in touch and in tune with what was happening in the business. She was getting the information that she needed in the way she needed it when she needed it. That's a communication rhythm. And yes, we actually had to accept someone. We had someone in her business that was actually costing her tens of thousands of dollars every month because they weren't able to execute. It quite sincerely was not the right job for them. And we needed to exit them and find someone new. And once we actually uncovered all of this, created the strategy, and started to execute, it was amazing. And we're not talking fireworks. There's no parade for this. But what she got was relief. Relief, actually, right after we designed the strategy. And then continued relief as we executed, as we went step by step in our plan. There was calm. There was breathing room. There was increased confidence and real energy around what this business was truly becoming. My friends, that's the work that is so deeply meaningful, and that's the work we do in the accelerator. You've heard me talk about the LPC accelerator. It's where we do the real work, the leadership strategy, the people systems, and culture that actually holds when things get hard. It's part one-on-one coaching, part mastermind, and it's all about helping you lead with clarity, not chaos. If you've been listening and thinking, this is what I've been missing, our next cohort kicks off March the 2nd, and there's a spot for you. If you want to grow without burning out, this is the room to be in. You can send me a DM today to learn more, or check out the link in the show notes and it'll take you right to the page. So why is it that this stage feels so heavy? Why does it feel so messy? Well, because you're evolving, whether you like it or not. And what no one tells you, and I am here to deliver in a very loving way, is that scaling requires a shift in your leadership identity. You were the expert. You were the technical guru. This was your brainchild. This was, again, blood, sweat, tears, most of your life savings into this thing. And now you need to be the architect, not the expert. You need to be the visionary leader. You were the doer. Now you have to design the systems and actually create the space where others can do and deliver. And my friends, I want to recognize that that is deeply uncomfortable because again, we started our business because we are really passionate about what we do and who we work with, who we serve. And now what we're being asked to do is actually to be a leader, to be a visionary, to be a CEO. And there's no training for that, right? Your saboteur gets loud, that inner critic. You start second guessing yourself. You're now avoiding those crunchy conversations because they just feel awkward and awful. You're trying to be liked instead of being clear. And the business feels that wobble immediately. So here's a couple things. Here's a few questions that you need to ask yourself right now to understand if you're in the messy middle. These are practical. If you're listening and you're thinking, is this me? These are the questions you're going to answer. Okay. So question 1, do you still touch almost everything in your business? Are you reviewing, approving, answering, fixing? If you stepped away for a week, does everything start to stall? If the answer isn't a hard no, it's a yes, my friend. You're in the messy middle. Question number 2. Do your team members sometimes look busy, but you're not fully sure what they're doing and what their outcomes are? Like if you asked, what exactly are you accountable for this quarter? Would the answer be crystal clear? Would everybody in your business be able to answer that? Or slightly interpretive? Maybe they could kind of get there. My friend, that's a pretty good indication you're in the messy middle. Number 3, are you hiring reactively? As in, we're overwhelmed. Let's get someone in. We need to plug that hole in the dike. Instead of asking yourself, does this role drive outcomes that are tied to our business goals? If you don't have a hiring roadmap that is tied to your business plan, my friend, you're in the messy middle. Question number 4. Are you avoiding 1 or 2 difficult conversations you absolutely know you need to have? You know the ones, the underperformers, where you need to set, there's unclear expectations. You need to set those up, where the role doesn't quite fit anymore. If you're postponing those conversations, that is leadership evolution knocking on your door, and you're in the messy middle. And number 5, does growth feel heavier instead of lighter? My friends, this is a really big loaded question. If more revenue has not created more ease, that is not a marketing problem. That's a structure problem. And without the structure, you're probably in the messy middle. So if you answered yes to even 2 out of the 3, my friend, you're not broken. Your business is not broken. Your team isn't necessarily even broken. You're in the messy middle. And it's a sticky place to be. So here's the part that no one is really talking about. I feel like I'm in a bit of an echo chamber, quite frankly. But you cannot hustle your way out of the stage. You cannot work harder to move your business out of the messy middle. You cannot market your way out of it. You cannot mindset your way out of it. You cannot hire another VA and hope that fixes it. What you need is structure. You need leadership development. And you need a real people strategy that is going to help you build the team that is going to move you out of the messy middle. And that is why I built the LPC Accelerator. That's why it exists. It's not about tactics. In the accelerator, we build the strategic talent roadmap that ties your important, talented people to your business plan and gets them to drive all your success. We get clear about who to hire, when, and why. Because if we're not linking to drive business goals, then why are we hiring? We design an organizational structure for your next level so that it is actually helping you and the team achieve what you really want to drive. We do the deep one-on-one leadership work because if you're going to ask your team to level up, you need to level up. You can, in this space, can actually grow and show up calmly and confidently and be the strategic visionary leader your business needs to get out of the messy middle. We're going to work on quieting that saboteur, that icky little inner voice that says that you're screwing it up, because you're not. You're going to learn how to do things like have the crunchy conversations and do them confidently and do them with intention. You're going to learn how to build culture with real intentionality instead of just by accident. And you're going to do it in a room with other women who are at this same stage. They're all in the messy middle. Because frankly, the messy middle is too heavy to white knuckle alone. We need community so we can learn and grow and not feel so isolated and alone. So let me leave you with this today. The messy middle is not a sign that you've failed. In fact, quite the opposite. I would tell you that it means that your business has grown to a point where something needs to shift, something needs to iterate. It's the sign that your business is ready for structure and it's ready for process. And that structure is not corporate. It's not cold. It's not bro tactics. The structure is what's going to give you freedom and it's going to enable your team to grow in the way you need them to. And if you're in this stage and you're tired of holding it together with peanut butter and duct tape, then this is the work. And the accelerator is the place to do that work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link below so you can go and check out what exactly does the accelerator look like? Is this right for me? If you think that this is where you're at, that this is the messy middle, then go ahead, click that link, take a look, and book time with me. Let's see if this actually is what you and your business need. My friends, thank you so much for joining me today. And until next time, I want you to lead with heart, grow with purpose, and stay high voltage. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Female Founder Unplugged. If today's conversation resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Connect with me on Instagram at High Volt Leadership and send me your questions or let me know your biggest takeaway. Looking for more strategies on scaling your business, building a powerhouse team, or leading with confidence? Head over to highvoltageleadership.ca or follow me on LinkedIn for exclusive content, resources, and special offers just for listeners. Until next time, keep leading, keep learning, and remember, the real magic happens when you're unplugged.
This podcast is produced, mixed, and edited by Cardinal Studio. For more information about how to start your own podcast, please visit www.cardinalstudio.co or email Mike at mike@cardinalstudio.co. You can also find the details in the show notes.